Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about some of my favorite TV shows from the year that was 2023. There are so many to talk about, so without further ado, let's get right into it. While I wish I could talk about every show that I enjoyed and tell you why, I have decided to narrow it down to my particular favorites, which may not be your favorites, and that is perfectly okay. There are some that aren't on this list, but I do want to mention because they are also great and you should also check them out. Those are My Adventures with Superman, Blue Eye Samurai, Castlevania Nocturne, Sex Education Season 4, the final season of Succession, and The Wheel of Time Season 2. Starting things off strong, we have Gen V Season 1 on Prime Video, which is a spin-off of the super popular show The Boys. Gen V follows Marie, who is in her first year at a superhero college called Godolkin, and along with some new friends, she finds out that the school is hiding something called the Woods. But what they don't know is that the Woods is experimenting on soups and finding a way to kill them, and is being ran by the principal of the school. The show doesn't shy away from violence or blood and is super action packed, and it will have you on the edge of your seat wondering how these soups will deal with not only the school but also Vought, who has a crazy amount of influence and power. My favorite part of the show was seeing the different characters' powers grow throughout the season and showing what their potential could be. I can't wait to see how they tie together these characters more in The Boys Season 4 and Gen V Season 2. Lessons in Chemistry is an Apple TV show that I watched pretty late on in the year, and every episode had me wanting more, and I really needed to see how it was all going to play out. This is a perfect example of a book adaptation that wouldn't fit as a movie, but also doesn't need multiple seasons, so it's a nice little limited series that I really enjoyed. The show follows Elizabeth Zott through her life, following all of her ups and downs and showing how she got her own feminist cooking show and inspired lots of women to do things that they were told that they would have never been able to do. At the end of each episode, I was kind of heartbroken knowing everything that Elizabeth went through, but by the end of the season, I loved that she overcame so much and followed her dreams of getting her PhD in chemistry. My favorite part of this show is one where Calvin, who was her partner, tells her that he rereads a book because while the book doesn't change, the reader does, which kind of spoke to me because I rewatch a lot of movies and TV shows and reread books. And that's something that I always notice is that, yeah, the stuff that I'm consuming isn't changing, but the way that I'm thinking about it does. And so I think that's just something important when going through life is that, you change as a person and your perspective on life changes as you grow and learn new things and experience new people as well. A weekly whodunit is not what I thought that I needed, but Poker Face delivered. Poker Face, which is on Peacock, follows Charlie, who can tell when someone is lying. And when she figures out that a powerful man had her best friend killed, she goes on the run. And while on the run, she meets lots of people doing very odd jobs. And she realizes that a lot of them have done some shady crimes. And with the help of her lie detector sense, she basically gets down to what crime that they committed and helps figure out a way to help solve this crime without putting her own name in the spotlight. Each episode has very familiar faces and had me curious as how they got all of these people in this show and how, the character would tie into Charlie's story. My favorite part of this show was how, at the beginning of every episode, we would see an event happen, but we wouldn't see Charlie. And even though we don't see Charlie, we know that she is involved in this event. And as the season went on and I saw more of these intros, I would always try to guess what Charlie was doing while all of this was going on and how she was connected before the show showed us how Charlie was connected to all of this. Media about zombies aren't really my thing, but I decided to give The Last of Us a try, which is adapted from the ultra popular video game, and it did not disappoint. The show follows Joel, who has been tasked with delivering Ellie to some doctors because it is believed that she is the cure for the zombie infection because she is immune. This show was a show set in a world with zombies, but it really made you question if the zombies were the problem or if it was the humans that were left after this, outbreak. There was some shocking moments that had you heartbroken and made you feel apprehensive on rooting for a character because you truly didn't know if they would survive. The show was so good that it heavily influenced me to get a PlayStation so I could play the game because I really wanted to see what the source material was about. My favorite part of the show was the heartbreaking episode 3 with Bill and Frank that chronicled their love and eventual death in the most beautiful and tragic way and made for one of the best episodes in television this year. Heartstopper on Netflix is a show that is a love story, but also so much more, and deals with coming out, eating disorders, toxic family relationships, friendships falling apart, and just how to be a teenager navigating your own feelings. Heartstopper Season 2 continues the story of Nick and Charlie, who are navigating their romance with not many people knowing that they're dating, as well as seeing all of their friends and even teachers' romances blossoming. The show is adapted from books, and I have read the books, and I think that the show does a good job of adapting those books and just really keeping the heart of the books. My favorite part of this season was how there is representation across the board of the LGBTQIA plus community that I feel like I have never seen on TV. And they take this idea of what would the different letters in the LGBTQIA plus community look like in real life. The Bear season 2 picks up with Carmy trying to open a more upscale restaurant in a very tight timeline while also getting some of the staff trained so that they can be better than they were before. The Bear is a show that stresses me out so much because being in that kitchen can be so stressful since it's just such a tight space and there are just so many different personalities and everyone, for some godforsaken reason, is always screaming. The Bear has so many great performances that it is hard to just praise just one because they are all phenomenal. And this season further proved that everyone in that kitchen deserved a spot, even if they didn't think that they did, and every role was important. I love that Tina and Richie got to learn more about their particular roles and really made them better, but not only boosting their skills, but also their own confidence. I think my favorite part of the season was the Christmas episode, which was the most stressful and filled with so many cameos and probably one of the best performances I've seen from Jamie Lee Curtis as Carmi's mom and gives a little insight into why Carmi doesn't spend a whole lot of time with his family. And the episode ends on a crazy note when Carmi's mom drives her car through the living room. The Legend of Vox Machina is an animated show on Amazon Prime that I feel like is marketed poorly and is a great show that people should be focusing more on. The show focuses on a ragtag team who, in season one, takes down a dragon and the evil Briarwoods. And in this season, we see them returning as these heroes, but then the consequences of killing one dragon comes to bite them in the tushy when the Chroma Conclave, a group of dragon, comes and destroys the city that they are in and starts to take over, and the team must find these vestiges which are basically power ups to take them down. I just love how in this show they are the most dysfunctional team, and we see across both seasons how they are slowly learning how to utilize each other's strengths to work together. In this season, some of the people on the team get powers, and it was great to see that either happen naturally or with a piece of equipment to show that they might be dysfunctional, but they are still deadly. My favorite part of this show is when Grog was up against his uncle and Scanlan and Pike were captured and all seemed lost until the rest of Vox Machina comes in and saves the day in the most epic battle. And in the end, the team has each other's back and they complete the mission of getting the vestiges and they take out Grog's uncle. And it was just an amazing sight to see. 2023 was filled with some great TV shows that really sparked my interest, and I'm glad that I could squeeze in some time to watch as many as I could. TV shows are much more of a time commitment than movies, so I'm always happy when they pay off and leave me wanting more. If there was a favorite of yours, please leave it in the comments below because I would love to know what some of the shows from this year that you enjoyed. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.